Hello everyone, Simon here again from the Modern Awakened Perspective, your map for the path to enlightenment. I got another video here for you today. This one's about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and her proposed new Green Deal, Green New Deal, whatever you call it. Probably not going to fly, so probably don't need to remember the name. But before I get into that, everyone please like and subscribe if you like this content. That way more people can find it down the line. Also, if you hit the notification bell, you'll be notified when I make new videos, which I plan on doing nearly every day. Also, comment section is open if you like or dislike anything I have to say. So, let's get into the story here. We'll start the story with Nancy Pelosi, and she has created this commission on climate change, and recently Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez proposed what was called the Green New Deal, which would have gone along with this sort of climate change commission, but she was denied a spot on this commission, and that's no surprise to me, considering how many times she's made of a fool of herself recently and stuck her foot in her mouth. So, though I don't believe in climate change, those people who are pushing it might actually believe in it, so they wouldn't want someone who looks so foolish to be on that sort of commission, as you would understand. So, she was denied a spot on this commission, and I'm sure she's probably salty about that. I've made several stories about her and her asinine actions, you might say. So I'm going to give you a little brief rundown of her proposed Green New Deal to show you how unthought out and how poorly worded, etc. that it was. Some of the highlights of this proposal was she proposed to end all air travel and build the bridges over all the oceans, which would definitely sounds like a really smart idea to me and very easy to implement. She also said that all buildings in America would have to be refurbished or rebuilt, and that sounds like such an excellent idea. I don't know why anyone else hasn't ever proposed that. And of course, also, she's never mentioned anything in her deal about how any of these things would actually be implemented, on what timeline, on how they would be paid for. So these are some pretty crazy concepts and ideas included in this proposal, but with no insight onto how to pay for any of this stuff. She also said that she would end all traditional forms of energy within the next 10 years. Sounds pretty crazy. We'll see how that evolves, what kind of plan of action she had for that. Also, she suggested and proposed that all jobs would now be unionized, which I'm not sure how that would work either. Now, on top of all of these changes, she couldn't guarantee that there still would not be a carbon tax, which is what climate change is all about. And you realize that this used to be called global warming, but now they're calling it climate change because the truth is that we're actually approaching a grand solar minimum, which is basically the opposite of climate change or global warming. So everyone might want to look into that a little further, so you can be prepared. Grand solar minimum is what the research I've done says, which is means things are going to get a lot colder here and maybe last quite a while. So they had to realize that the global warming had to be changed, and now it's just called climate change. But let's just move on with this proposed Green New Deal and how ridiculous it is. So basically, her plan was so full of holes that she didn't get the spot on the new Climate Change Commission. And to give it some support, Mr. Global Warming himself, Al Gore, came out and tried to give it some support, tried to back her up by saying that, you know, there's really no specifics as far as the timeline and how these things will be implemented, which was obvious by her, you know, unthought out proposal. And also, you know, there's a lot of Democrats that seem to not want to back her because of, you know, she just doesn't really seem to know what she's talking about. She's the one who didn't even know what the 3 branches of government were. Didn't know which building Mitch McConnell was in when she went looking for him. Even though she lives and works right around there, she couldn't figure out how to find him. So she's just not the smartest cookie. And so whoever would have thought her proposal would be anything worth implementing in the first place. So, and you know, after all this, her plan has already been removed from her website. That's how fast people realized that it was a bunch of BS. So again, that's my opinion. If you agree or disagree, feel free to leave a comment, and I'll see you on the next one.